get verified on anything now. You can get verified on Xbox.
How do we get verified?
So I know on Twitter, you can go to like account help or something, and you apply. And I know for Twitter at least, it's putting your name, profile, and then they'll give you options like put a link to a website, like a blog. Obviously, you probably do your YouTube channel, Facebook channel, like anything to where you're engaging with a broader audience on topics of public interest. And then you could write like, I think it's like a 500, 700 word synopsis as to why you should be verified. So, but I mean, how cool that'd be.
I mean, Jasmine helped me work on that for
external
internal branding.
Imagine, I mean, I'm sure you'd get just a crazy amount of followers for just being verified. Especially if you're just, like an expert, headhunter or something like that. That's verified. I mean, how many headhunters are verified on Twitter? And you definitely put out enough of the media aspect or the content creation aspect of it, and I think that's like the biggest thing. If you have like stable content creation, it's like,
turn it on right away from the get-go.
Yeah.
So this is a new series, guys. Welcome back to the New Year's, and then we'll have Matt James with us
am I
today.
the first one of no, I'm the second
so.
one. I'm the second.
I think you're the first for 2018.
Oh, wow.
Well, besides me, I went on the promo last week about what's happening in the New Year. So
first guest.
First guest.
Yeah. Wow.
So this will be a little different series than what we've done before. So Matt James, Coded, and vice versa.
Yes.
So the new series that this will be towards, since a lot of you have asked me about within sales recruitment about the conversation aspect of things, I thought the conversation series will give us a little different outlook on looking at how to pipeline through conversation that may or may not make sense, because as you know that we, to a degree, we know what we're trying to get into to make a placement, to perhaps provide a solution to a client, or perhaps find somebody a better opportunity, and perhaps all of it on top of making more money, perhaps saving you more money, perhaps getting the project you're looking at done, perhaps bringing you a better, faster solutions and make things more effective and more efficient.
There's some motivating factor there. I don't think anyone just changes jobs or careers for fun on that, so definitely something they're after.
So we're leaving this a little bit more of a semi-workshop mode, to pipeline through how can we partially, actually our vision is how to positively impact other people's lives, including how we do business as well. So thank you for joining me on this venture specifically.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks. And
again, that's first one of 2018, first guest. I want that in the comments.
And also give everybody a little bit view about how what life is like within IT works, about how we potentially bettering things that we do by bettering ourselves as well, to know really as a business person, as a business staffing professional, but know that day in, day out, you, client, candidates, audience that are working with us, each of us will individually or a team or a company as a whole, how can we better help to get to our common goal? The number one most important thing is obviously to determine what the common goal is. For me individually, maybe to close the deal. For you, the candidate may be finding a better job. Or for the client, maybe is I just want somebody to start like yesterday, which is not even possible because that was yesterday. So how do we come and achieve a common goal and agree together in order to go to that common goal?
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head, because if the client wants someone, the candidate's either motivated by money, location, some factor, and I mean, we have a job to do here too. If you can find the right opportunity, I feel like it makes getting everyone on the same page that much easier. But definitely, just because there is a job out there, it still takes a lot of hard work to find the right person for that.
The efforts also helping us. We're especially clients that hiring managers have been working with us. There is a reason that we try to hang out on the call with you for an X amount of time, because it's important for you to get a thorough understanding, because every single aspect of thing is the question that we did not ask usually comes back around and become one of the area that that's how things fall through, because by us not doing our job properly. You have your work to do, which may be operations, maybe overseeing the process, or making sure the projects are completed. Candidate, they have their job as well, and then they have their work on regular basis.
Yeah.
And then we made them to take time off to entertain the opportunity at your organization. Hence that we absolutely owe them the feedback, and that everything is a two-way street, right?
Definitely.
So hence that we obviously want to make sure that we go directly back to the chase, but also make sure we have everybody's best intention in mind. So with that being said, I'm going to go directly into what we actually were just talking about 5 minutes ago, about using relocation aspect things, because Matt's actually working on a few things that going back into now, it's more than one person's lives is impacted.
Yeah.
So
working with a client down in Texas, don't want to specify too much, but just down in Texas, and they're relocating from northern United States, and he's got a family, couple kids there, and he's at an interesting point in his career to where he's not the most senior level person, but he's also not kind of a fresh face in the market, and he's just really looking to take the next step financially as well as just career-wise, looking to take on a little bit more responsibility. And especially in niche, everyone wishes they could just drive down the street, but unfortunately you kind of have to, if you're career-driven, that's your motivation, sometimes you do have to make a big change. But
exactly, but the number one thing is we identify an opportunity for the candidate that is actually the right career move for the candidate, specific as an individual. Now we also, on the client side, we provide a solution, a potential solution. Now it's coming down to agree to a start date and also making things happen step by step.
Yeah, I think the first step for me was an initial phone call, and then learned his motivations, why he wanted, even entertaining the idea. And I think that's an important question, because there are a lot of people who just like to hear about new jobs.
Exactly.
And like that idea. But I did ask him, and my colleague Kelly Andrews helped me through this. Really talk with your wife, talk with your family. We can figure out if you even want to entertain it further, but even just broach the subject, like, hey, I have an interest in moving halfway across the country to pursue this opportunity. How do you feel about that? And it's really important. And I know you're in a committed relationship. I've married almost 2.5 years now, so it's a big thing if you're going to make a huge change.
So Mike, walk us through just a quick glimpse, if you need to take a look at it, by all means. What are some of the things on your mind right now thinking about relocation? That's the name for you.
Probably the number one for mine is, how is his family going to feel about all this? If they absolutely hate it, it's not going to work out for them. If they're not on board, if there's any hesitation, the deal's going to fall through, especially with all the work. So that's really my number one. How is your family thinking about it?
Number one priority to you. What's next? Because each candidate scenario will be a little different, obviously.
Yeah.
So
second, after how does your family, how do you feel about the opportunity? We about halfway through the process right now. We've had some phone calls with the client and the candidate, and they seem to like each other, but things can change on a daily basis. So spoke with him today. Just, are you still feeling as excited about the opportunity today as you were yesterday? And so really just keeping that engagement, getting that feeling. 3, the client side of things. And that comes with, has anything changed from your perspective? Have your needs changed? Because we all know sometimes clients just have their needs change out of nowhere, and maybe you needed a BA one day, now, well, I need a techno-functional person today, so is this person still gonna match up with, what the spec, what the requirement is? And it kind of comes back to getting all 3 parties on board with each other. So I'd probably say top 3, those are the biggest concerns, going through my head.
I'm glad also you prioritize those, because that tells me a little bit more that you have engaged into scenario and know that one may come into play. However, I'm curious to hear, because you have named family being the number one priority. In this case, the candidate is second. So that tells me first thing is the decision maker is not the candidate. It's potentially the spouse or the extended family.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. It's a very young family. He's grew up in and around the area where she's located now, and it's just a big decision to walk away from somewhere that you've always known for a brand new place, brand new opportunity. I couldn't take that decision lightly. If someone said, "Hey, Matt, leave Atlanta," I'm like, "Whoa, I absolutely love it here. Like, why do I want to leave?" So, and unfortunately, I had an experience not too long ago where, family was a huge factor, and didn't go the way I would like it to on there. So maybe it's just a little bit more at the forefront. Trying to think of everything, and to prioritize number two. Although it's a candidate-driven market, and I want him to be just as happy. I just understand it has to be a total decision by him, his wife, everyone on board for him to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, so I want to preset a scene. The obvious comes back into how well you know the candidate, first of all, and the personal circumstances. But let's not forget, because number one thing we bring out to the table is it's not about a better life overall for the family yet, because we may or may not know. Coming out at the end of the day is this is an opportunity for the candidate. This is what he wants to pursue in order to have a better life. Hence that we may need to reward that priority first and second.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's chicken comes first where eggs comes first. But without another preliminary sector in there, the phone call should start, or the conversation should start with something that's engaging, something that's exciting. For example, Matt, I have exciting news for you.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm hearing actually very positive update in order, since I just heard from the client that we are preparing a preliminary offer for you.
Really?
While we're still in the process, I need to know what has changed since you had last spoken.
Well, I talked to my wife again, and she is, she's been on board. She's just still a little scared naturally to, pick up and move for a new opportunity. She's, scared about going on the job hunt herself afterwards because, obviously she's, she likes her company now, but she doesn't mind the idea of starting over fresh.
So I'm hearing that there is concern coming from your wife, but sounds like that's a concern from her side, your side. What about your reservation and concern?
No, it's exciting. It's a really great opportunity for me in my career. But I just got to live with her every day. The only thing I would say is, I'm getting nervous the closer and closer it gets, just because, put in so much work already. I would hate for something to happen where, the offer letter didn't come through, or,
so I'm calling you with the good news that it isn't work so far. So in regarding to your wife's concern, hence that the piece of emotional intelligence is that coming into always have to acknowledge that I'm sensing, or it's good opening will be I'm sensing something, or I'm hearing, or I understand that you have a legit concern, or your wife has a legit concern looking at the job market, knowing that it's going to be it will be hard for her to leave her current company, but know that it's a very exciting area to explore different options. And obviously there may be things in the world she has been quietly applying for opportunities, so on and so forth. But the acknowledgement part from building on top of the excitement should be there first in order to inquire what has changed since you and I last spoken before we go into the next subject.
If only every candidate could be single without kids and wanted to explore the world and make
it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, but it doesn't. People have lives, and I think too, you're showing just so much genuine interest with that, and I bet you probably have a couple stories where, a person probably surprised you because they appreciated how much you actually, were concerned.
I've actually worked with the clients candidates that I have the children actually on the phone when I was extending an offer, and at one point specifically that. She actually handed a phone to her daughter and said, "Anna, should mom go back to work?" I'm like, "Oh, I gave you a solid offer after I worked really hard for 72 hours, and then now I have a 10-year-old on the phone on the other line to determine yes or no."
Oh, wow.
Way to put somebody on the spot.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know how you reacted to something like that.
Yeah, but no, it's about acknowledging obviously the player that are in the play, because ultimately it had to make sense for all parties. But what we can best encapture that moment will be essentially understanding every single pieces, and this is the element of anticipation, an element of understanding genuine interest, and knowing every single aspect of thing that can be a variable. So talking through relocation, we went through compensation, went through relocation package, went through potentially the responsibilities, long-term, short-term succession planning, what's a career outlook like potentially into many other sectors.
Yeah.
So, what was your takeaway from our really quick half-an-hour session on that subject?
Definitely a takeaway is really understanding their response. I know something I've been working on with Kelly Andrews in our market is just really kind of just shutting up and listen to kind of what they're saying. Listening, really understanding their concerns and motivations at the same time. Some people are really just gung ho and want to get down there as soon as possible. And I think it's still healthy for you to kind of play devil's advocate with them so they can think everything through. But that was a big takeaway for me. Is I was trying to frame a little bit in kind of our practice questions where I need to be more open ended instead of is this good or this good? Tell me your concerns. Really let them speak. They should be speaking a lot more than I should be speaking. And I know I could be a chatty Cathy, so it really is something I'm developing as a business professional. But thankfully, there's a lot of practice in this racket.
Yeah, a lot of them is you're going with the intention, and most people have been buying things or are used to dealing with, that's called salespeople.
Yeah.
Know that their ultimate at the end of the day is make a sale. But if the genuine interest is not in the front first, everything else will seem less genuine, will be seen very generic. Yeah, it will lose its authenticity. So hence that knowing the purpose behind every single question, that's a tactic that we're going to explore further into this conversation series. So today we want to plant it a little bit thing more in there is understanding the motive behind your question. In this case, relocation. Yeah. For you to turn it back into, I would like to know, hence that what's important for you. Now established that the wife have a specific concern about, obviously what does it look like for her? And then knowing that this may be a joint venture for us to look at what makes sense and what not. Because all these, especially when you talked about earlier, companion tickets in the relocation package, by you, the candidate, not sharing that information with us, it won't give us, we can do our job effectively to bring that conversation back to the client. Perhaps is ask for a companion ticket during a scouting trip throughout the relocation process, or perhaps a $1,000 sign-on bonus to take care of that sector to maybe bring the wife and the kids or extended family to make sure that this is a happy joint venture.
Yeah, and I'd say, I did a great job. Kian helped us out. Really, I'm a football guy, and this is really a great playbook to go by. And some of the stuff we've been talking about, proactive versus reactive, if you follow this, and when we went through the relocation package, out of concerns, different things that, recruiters like, oh, this came out of nowhere. You really shouldn't come out of nowhere. You should be thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, what might happen and how, what is your contingency plan if this does happen. So I did want to thank you for that. It's great. I'm a visual guy to kind of see everything up and down for me. But
thank you. I have lots more conversation coming along. If you have any questions, you have any suggestion for the conversation series, anything you want to hear specifically, I'm more than happy to put us all together. I would love to have more individuals coming back on board. So thanks, Matt, being on my first.
Let me ask you this before you close. What number episode is this? When are we going to get to episode 100?
Goodness, I should have 100.
Yeah, we gotta have some benchmark episodes here, because this is what?
I actually
50?
Need to count this. This might be close to 50, I believe.
Yeah, you gotta do something big for episode 50.
You'll be a yearly. I was thinking about doing an yearly review. We haven't got there yet, so maybe episode 50 when you come back and actually do a full review.
Yeah.
So.
Cheers. We'll get
cheers. First series of the conversation sector. So guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you.